Hey everybody, it's your boy, Eduardo Jackson, CEO, founder, creator of the Cinema Draft game. And we're doing a special pod today to focus on one of the main features that will be new with the relaunch of the great Cinema Draft game. And I am talking about CD3D, which is going to be the in-app cryptocurrency for the Cinema Draft game. You'll have opportunities to win CD3D for free. You'll have opportunities to buy CD3D directly from a decentralized smart contract app that will be at cd3d.app. And actually, let's go there directly. We've also added a tab to our landing page, the CD3D tab right here. If you click it, it'll take you to the site. But let's just actually type into the site directly. All right. So it'll take you to a Google Sites landing page that shows you the extent of my web programming skills. Over here is the menu, our little underneath the home button. It'll take you everywhere you need to go. Also, if you click on Learn More, it'll take you directly to the white paper. So let's go there. All right. So basically, this white paper, not unlike many other white papers that are out there for cryptocurrencies, aims to explain to you exactly how the token will work. And the goal of the token is basically to give everybody a chance to participate in a community-based token economy on the site, as well as people who may not be so interested in the game will have an opportunity to buy the token and earn dividends. Basically, it's going to be a native token for the site, so when you earn CD3D, you'll be able to exchange it for future goods and services. Like we anticipate having access to some merchandise, as well as some services to come once we scale up and have more players in the site. And so if you were to, so let's say we were going to offer a CD3D equivalent real money game. So for example, let's say if there was like a $10, if there would be a $10 buy-in to a game, and when we relaunch, we will not have direct fiat money buy-in contests. We'll have our free rolls, which will always be free to play, in which we'll be giving away real money, giving out to your PayPal account directly like we used to before during the alpha test. And we'll also have CD3D free rolls where it'd be free to play and we'd give out free CD3D. And we'll show you how to do that. And also CD3D for CD3D games. So basically, if you are a CD3D token holder, you can you can submit CD3D into a CD3D only prize pool to win more CD3D. So better get used to that word CD3D. We'll be saying it a lot as it is the token we're focusing on here today. And let me go over a little bit on how it works. So basically, it is a Tron blockchain smart contract based token created to use on the Cinema Draft gaming platform for games and company services. Now, what does that all mean? Well, first of all, Tron is a blockchain that's really fast, super cheap, that is really popular with a lot of decentralized apps, or what's called dApps. And right here, if you click on, I guess dApp review, dApp Radar. I like to go dApp Radar. dApp Radar is a listing site of all these decentralized apps. And basically, if you're not familiar with the concept of a decentralized app, it's basically like a smart contract where it's an automated program that once you load up to a blockchain in the internet, it kind of does its own thing. It's not like once it's up on the blockchain, it's live, and no one really kind of uh, owns it. Like while our company would, well, actually, let me take that back. A smart contract is an autonomous program where where certain functions are programmed into the program to act automatically. And so it's what we call trustless because it doesn't need third-party interference. Doesn't need a human overseer or anything like that. And there are a lot of things you want humans for. You probably want a human cooking your food or adjudicating laws, things like that. But a lot of stuff that you don't need humans for, and that's where smart contracts come in. And honestly, I believe the combination of smart contracts and the blockchain will eventually wipe out entire industries. Stuff that you really don't need or shouldn't want a third party butting into, like, say, banking. Why can't I be my own bank? That's a big lure of cryptocurrency. Everyone can be their own bank. Or, title companies for houses. If everything's on a blockchain, where it can be independently verified by all who look at the distributed ledger of a blockchain, then what's the point of having a title company? Everyone knows who owns what, things like that. So basically, dApps are a lot of dApps are basically fancy smart contracts where you can where functions are automated. You have a lot of games that are dApps. As a matter of fact, you see the top dApps on dApp radar are games or gambling games, high risk games, things of that nature. And if you look at, and part of the reason why we went with Tron is because it is fairly cheap as far as transactions, because every time you execute a transaction or a function on a smart contract, you have to pay a fee. And unlike some other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum or what have you, the transaction fees for Tron are usually really low. So for example, if you look at 7 days by total users, usually Tron games are up there. See, Play Royal #1, Bulls vs Bears #3, XDApp 4. So of the top 10, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the top 10 dApps on dApp radar are Tron based. And the #1 game by a pretty big stretch over the last 7 days, with 2.6 million in its smart contract, was Play Royal. All right, so enough of that. So that's where we're using Tron. Talk about smart contracts. And a smart contract is what they call immutable, meaning that no one has access to these funds but the autonomous program and also the wallet holder. So basically the idea of this is that you're going to exchange the Tron cryptocurrency, also known as TRX, or I think they call it Tronix, but I don't know anyone who calls it that. We just all call it Tron. So Tron, aka TRX, is used to exchange for CD3D within the smart contract. And basically how you do it is you do it through your own cryptocurrency wallet that you maintain, that only you have access to if you maintain proper security behind it, and you use Tron Link to do that, and we'll get to that in a second. And basically what you do is that you would exchange Tron to the smart contract through your Tron Link wallet. You exchange Tron TRX for CD3D, and basically the token supply and the cost of CD3D is designed to rise or fall with the buy or sell of the token. So every time CD3D is bought with Tron, the price in Tron goes up. The price of CD3D and Tron goes up. Every time CD3D is sold for Tron, the price in Tron goes down. All right. And so the more Tron that's in the CD3D contract, the more expensive it is to buy or sell CD3D. So for example, if you're, let's say, one of the very first early adopters, and let's just say, this is hypothetical, let's just say it costs 1 Tron, which right now is about 2 cents. Let's take a look real quick at coin market cap, give you an idea of how much Tron costs, because it's super cheap right now. Yeah, it's just under 2 cents, so 0.0182, but let's just round up and call it 2 cents. So let's say you're one of the early adopters into the CD3D contract, and you buy 1 CD3D for 1 Tron, all right? And trust me, after this, it'll most likely cost more than 1 Tron. But let's just say at the beginning, it's 1 Tron for 1 CD3D. And then let's say you wait, 2 or 3 days, more people pile into the smart contract, and now you're ready to sell your 1 CD3D, but now your 1 CD3D is actually worth 20 Tron, or I guess in this case 40 cents. Then you would exchange your CD3D for 40 Tron, and then you would take that Tron out through your TronLink wallet and exchange it on the crypto to fiat exchange and get, I guess, your 40 cents worth. All right, so that's pretty cool. So and there's no guarantee the contract will go up. The contract actually will most likely fluctuate, but I'll tell you what's really cool about that in a second. Because this is all because basically a fee, every time that transaction's made in the contract, a 10% fee is taken out. So anytime there's a deposit of Tron, withdrawal, reinvest, redeposit, or a transfer between accounts in the CD3D contract, 10% is taken off. And of that 10%, dividends are released. Half of that is released in dividends to other Tron holders. So for example, in that 1 Tron for 1 CD3D example, basically you would have 0.90 Tron for 1 CD3D, because you take that off the 10%, and then when you're ready to cash out and now CD3D is worth 20 Tron, you would actually get 10% of 20 is 18. You'd get 18 Tron back when you exchange your CD3D for Tron. A little confusing. If that's a little confusing, we also have this diagram here, which if you're listening, you can't see, but if you go to our YouTube page and check out podcast number, I guess it'll be 55, the CD3D app spectacular, then you'll see kind of how it works, where Tron goes into the CD3D contract and Tron goes back out. But if you're a CD3D holder, 10% fee is taken out every time you make a transaction, and dividends are spread to all the other CD3D token holders. And the cool thing about it is that you can use CD3D to buy into CD3D prize pool games, so you can win more CD3D. And of these, the company will take a small commission per entry fee, also known as a rake, for those CD3D only games. And then also, because we didn't invent this smart contract style, or as they call it, a bonded token economic model, it's actually based on P3D, aka the power of weak hands, which is an open sourced, peer-reviewed, decentralized app smart contract, which, because it is open source, pretty much is laying out the blueprint of how this all works. Not to go too deep into P3D now, but basically what's really cool about P3D is that they basically figured out the whole 10% transaction fee model. Because when you're in P3D, instead of Tron, it's Ethereum, and you're exchanging Ethereum for P3D, and with every transaction you have, they take out 10% and spread it out as dividends to the other token holders. Ours is somewhat similar, but we have a few little wrinkles that make it specifically, Cinema Draft CD3D's own. All right. And so actually, this is a good time to kind of pause the live part of the program and talk a little bit about what exactly is the Cinema Draft game and how you play it. Because if you're going to be using your CD3D, hopefully you'll be using it to play the game and maybe win some more CD3D. All right, so I'll be right back after this short message on how to play the Cinema Draft game. All right, and we're back. For those watching on YouTube, feel free to pause the screen and read all about how you play the Cinema Draft game here. And also feel free to go to the podcast. Look up Cinema Draft Podcast wherever fine podcasts are listened to, and you can listen to our short insert on how to play the Cinema Draft game. All right, so we'll keep this moving. So basically, here's how it can work if you don't play the Cinema Draft game. Because the CD3D app will live here at CD3D.app. Or I'm sorry, the CD3D smart contract will live at CD3D.app. You can also interact with the contract and not play the game. If you go back to here in the white paper, this diagram, you can just be a CD3D holder and earn dividends by holding on to the token. Because remember, every time there's a transaction, whether it's a deposit, a withdrawal, a redeposit of your dividends, or a transfer to another CD3D token holder, 10% is taken out and is partially spread as dividends to other token holders. And the way you can do that without having to play the game is you can just be what we call a saver. And basically, these are cryptocurrency enthusiasts who are interacting directly with the contract through TronLink. And here's the link to TronLink. Basically, it's, if those of you who are familiar with MetaMask, it's like the MetaMask for Tron. And basically, it's your own private decentralized wallet where you control, the keys, you control your crypto and your access to it. If you maintain proper online security, you should be, pretty safe. And basically, it's your own cryptocurrency wallet where you can host all sorts of different types of tokens, including that are Tron based, including the CD3D token. So you use your TronLink wallet to interact with the contract. And once again, savers, just like, the players, will pay a 10% fee per each transaction. Also, for people who have a TronLink CD3D wallet, we'll also give you the opportunity to have a referral link. So everyone who signs up under your referral link, you can earn 10% of their dividends. So another way you can save. And that's the only level we have of referral. This is not an MLM. We don't have, multi-levels to the referral. It's just a flat referral. Anyone who signs up under your referral link, you can get 10% of their dividends. Easy peasy. Also, to let you guys know from the outset, Cinema Draft LLC, which is the parent company of the Cinema Draft game, will purchase and be purchasing sizable portions of CD3D, although likely not a majority, in order to fund CD3D games, to give away our free rolls, and also fund our guaranteed prize pools. Much like the DraftKings of the world, the FanDuels of the world, the other major daily fantasy sports companies, we're going to be having guaranteed prize pools for contests for people who are submitting their CD3D for a chance to win more CD3D. We want to make sure we always have enough CD3D on hand to cover any of those contests that we personally guarantee. Also, what's going to be cool about this is that of your transaction fees, we're going to be taking out a portion for the community. We want to build up a robust community, kind of like how Roto Grinders, and for those of you who are somewhat unfamiliar, Roto Grinders is kind of like a really large affinity site for the daily fantasy sports industry. And they've got articles, strategy, message boards, probably even have a Discord, all that sort of stuff. We want to have all of that. Right now, if you are interested, all we have is a Discord. And if you go up to the home right here and you click community, that'll take you to our Discord, or an invite to our Discord. We're the only member right now. We'll hopefully have some programming and be able to release all of our information on our Discord sites and get that kind of popping as far as discussion about CD3D, the app, around Cinema Draft, the game. You know, we'll do some things to keep it interesting for you. And one of the reasons why of the transaction fee, we'll be reserving 3%. So if you look at the transaction fee, the 10% as 100% of a whole, 3% of that will be dedicated towards funding the community, whether it's paying for community managers and admins to keep the community running smoothly, to funding specific community-related prizes and prize pools, to just rewarding some of our best members, some of our best players, people who are active in the community, who have added value to the community. One of my favorite things in the world is adding value, and just basically helping us, you know, keep Cinema Draft alive and well. We definitely believe in that. So 3% of that will go towards the community of the transaction fee. 22% will go to Cinema Draft operations. And actually, let's take a look at that. This is our transaction fee distribution. This tells you what we're getting out of the 10%. So 22% will go to Cinema Draft operations, and that is basically for us to run the company, run the game and the site, for development, to pay salaries for developers, and to fund prize pools, which is very important. We have a lot of innovations coming down the pike. I've got a spreadsheet full of ideas of really cool, innovative games, as well as future expansion, take on different areas, even outside of movie and film. So all it takes money to do that. So we'll be using that from some of these CD3D revenue. Also, P3D licensing fees, 25%. Now, what this is basically, this is us helping out the community that helped us out. Because we're such big believers of P3D, 25% of that 10% fee is going to go to us buying P3D directly. So what we'd have to do is we have to exchange our Tron for ETH and use that ETH to buy into the P3D contract. P3D contract is pretty damn cool. Like, you look at their decentralized exchange, and actually we won't show you how much I've got in there, but basically it looks somewhat like this, and this is how much ETH is in the contract, which is pretty cool. It's been up and running for almost 2 years, actually just a little bit over 2 years. There's currently 9,400 Ethereum in the contract. It's had some really incredible lifetime averages over its span. I mean, it's probably the most successful, under talked about contracts in history. It's had a daily volume of 801 Ethereum a day, which if you look at the average price of Ethereum over that time, which is somewhere, I'd say it's somewhere, let's just say it's somewhere between $290 and $300. Just use a round number of $300. So basically, you had an average of $240,000 a day in volume going through the P3D contract a day. And obviously, you know, there are times there's a lot more activity than before. You know, if there's actually really cool charts and graphs to show you how popular the contract was. But essentially, we didn't make this up. We realized that we recognize the popularity of P3D, and we also want to entice P3D token holders, of which yours truly is one of, and I've been holding for about almost 2 years now, and collecting dividends every day, you know, little by little. We want to entice that community to come over and try out CD3D and help build up our community. So we believe that since we didn't come up with the idea, since we want to stay active in the community, and since we also want to prop up the price of P3D itself, in addition to enticing P3D token holders over to our community, we might as well just buy some more P3D. And that way everyone wins. So there is a scenario where if you own P3D and you own CD3D, you'll be getting dividends twice through activity in the CD3D contract. Kind of tight. All right. And so then the other 50% of this is redistributed as dividends to other CD3D token holders in proportion to how much you own. So if you own 1% of CD3D, you will get 1% of the 50%. All right. And then we have some some examples in the white paper based off the price of Tron as of January 6th, 2020. You can check those out on the white paper itself on the site. Also, we explained why P3D, we kind of just went over that. I mean, what's really cool is that it's had over 16,000 players participate in the P3D, contract. P3D has had a lot of scam clones and shit clones, just basically copy paste the same type of contract, slap a few different names on it, tweak the UI a little bit here and there, and just set up shop as P3D. But those tend to be fairly unscrupulous, there we go, unscrupulous operators who either had backdoor exploits to drain the account once enough ETH was in it, or they'd be classic pump and dumps where people get in early, pump the price up, and then they would just cash out once the price of their token was high enough, leaving a lot of other people holding the bag. Now, the reason why we don't see that happening with CD3D is, one, obviously as Cinema Draft, the guys behind it, we want to have a long-lasting, healthy token so we can continue to offer CD3D games and help fund the company. But two, one of the issues I've always had with P3D and why it's been so much fluctuation in the volume, although the volume is impressive, over 581,000, almost 582,000 worth of Ethereum over its lifetime through that one contract. Like I said, at an average of $300 in ETH, you're looking at $175 million worth of Ethereum that's come through this contract. But the issue with P3D is that because they have games that are connected to the contract that tend to be pretty boom or bust, there's not a ton of consistent activity. And the great thing about Cinema Draft is that every week, at minimum, we'll have new games. Eventually, will be a daily game, but at the very minimum, we'll have games running Thursday through Monday, where we're constantly loading in new actors. There'll be new strategies, and as the site grows, we'll be expanding our slates and giving up new gaming offerings and all sorts of stuff. So it's going to be, so we'll always have a flow of funds going through the CD3D contract, whether it's us buying more CD3D to satisfy demand and guarantee our prize pools, whether it's you, the CD3D user, hopefully, who goes in to buy CD3D and earn dividends and increase the value of your holdings, or whether it's you, the player, who goes in to buy CD3D to play for more CD3D because you want to get more dividends. There's always going to be, it's a virtuous cycle that will always have volume flowing through the contract, creating dividends, making everybody happy. That's the goal. All right. And so we have some other cool stuff in the white paper, some research on why it's a good idea, the benefits, including, being part of a $20 billion gaming ecosystem, all that sort of stuff. Frequently asked questions. We actually have a separate area on the site just for that. You can check that out here. Everything from, can I make money with CD3D? Yes. Are you guaranteed to make money? No. Something really important, is CD3D a security? Well, No, and it's because of the decentralized nature of the CD3D smart contract that it really should not be considered as a security. We don't, once the CD3D contract is launched, it'll be up there forever, out of our control. It'll be autonomous, trustless. You do X, and it does Y. And as we like to say, that the CD3D contract does not offer or promise a rate of return. It is for entertainment purposes only. And we even show you how to get Tron, because Tron isn't available everywhere, and also give you some ideas on how you can use CD3D on the platform and how we interact with the contract itself. So definitely check that out under our FAQ, go into our community, take a look at our merry little team here. Still growing. It's a bit of a sausage fest right now. Really broed out, but we hopefully will be diversifying as we're able to get more funds in and expand our team. And then also, actually, let's go back to FAQ. And then also, most importantly, sign up. Get your advanced tickets, y'all. Sign up to be alerted for the latest in CD3D developments. This is our interest list. Check it out. Sign up. We just ask for minimal information at the very least. All we need is an email, so we can keep you on the email list, keep you updated on what's going on, and submit it, and definitely check it out once you're done. But sign up to be alerted about the latest in CD3D developments, because we really do want to see you asking questions, interacting with the site, interacting with the dApp, telling your friends, getting your own referral link, and bringing people in, under your referral link. So hell, you can earn 10% on their dividends. I mean, why not, right? And honestly, that's pretty much everything you need to know. You can go into depth with the white paper on our site at cd3d.app. That is cd3d.app. It's like the new .com or .co. And you can click learn more, or click the menu up here for white paper and find out more about it. This is Eduardo Jackson. I am still your CEO, founder, creator of the Cinema Draft game. Thanks for spending this time with me and learning more about the CD3D app, and look forward to catching up with you guys on the next full-length podcast. And I guess this is where I should have some outro music. Let's try this. There we go. Now that's some outro music. And as always, thanks for listening, and why don't you go see a movie or something? Peace.